What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Teenage Caveman. I've done quite a few Larry Clark movies on the channel, and I am trying to, eventually see all of his movies because I'm a fan of quite a few of them. So Teenage Caveman has been one that I've been interested to check out for quite a while, and I was actually gonna buy the DVD. It's actually not too expensive. It's you know you can get it for like under $10 on eBay. But then I was scrolling through Tubi yesterday, and I was scrolling through the first time on Tubi section, and I saw Teenage Caveman there, and I was like, let's effing go, because I wanted to watch this movie anyways. I wouldn't have had to pay that much for it, but got to watch it for the free ball, so that was cool. So yeah, I had a little day off today, so I thought, hey, let me watch this right away, check it out, drop a little review. So I'm glad that I got to check this out, and I'm super glad I got to check it out for free, like I said. But yeah, my overall consensus of the movie, my overall opinion of the movie is, I thought it was just okay. It was just decent. There was some cool stuff going on, but yeah, overall, it wasn't a great movie, and it didn't really. I wasn't super engaged with it. I wasn't super into it. It was just all right. And if you're comparing it to like other Larry Clark movies, like Kids, Bully, Ken Park, it's not at the level of those movies, in my opinion. There is some fun to be had with this one, but it's not as good as something like Bully or Kids. So yeah, it was just all right. Before I get too deep into the review, I'm going to give my little plot summary. So here's the deal. We have the movie is set in this post-apocalyptic future where people have reverted to, like, there was some catastrophic event, and the civilization as we know today no longer exists. People are, they have now like reverted to, living in primitive tribes, like basically like cavemen. And they gotta like hunt for food. They have no electricity. They're straight up like pretty much just living in caves. They're living like nomadic cave dwellers. So yeah, you got the movie focuses on this one tribe, and you got this group of teenagers. The one main teenager, David, his dad is like the tribe leader, and he's this kind of religious shaman, and he's like a sleazy dude. He doesn't practice what he preaches. He's like supposed to be like the voice of reason. He's this religious leader in the community, but he's sleazy, and he does very, very bad things to women, and he totally abuses his power. So David, the main character's dad, tries to take advantage of David's girlfriend, and then David kills his dad to protect his girlfriend. And he's pretty much, he like the tribe tries to kill him. They just like leave him out on this stake to just starve to death. And his group of friends, they cut him down from the stake. They all escape. They leave the community, and they stumble upon this city. They didn't even know that cities still existed. Like, the only knowledge they have of the old world, which is the current world, like the only, like the current world today, or the current world in 2002 when this came out. But anyways, the only knowledge they have of the old world is from books, and they read like Penthouse magazine, and like no one knows how to read, but the main kid David like teaches people how to read by reading dirty magazines. But anyways, they like barely have any knowledge of the old world, so but they kind of know about cities, but they didn't know any cities still existed. But as they're like escaping their tribe, they stumble upon this large city, and there's there's this like couple living there, and you know they have all of the technologies of the old world. They have TV, they have alcohol, they have furniture, they have modern clothing, they have like good food. So the group of teens, they're experiencing all this stuff for the first time, and stuff gets a little weird because this couple that they're staying with, they're actually these like genetically modified humans. They're 120 years old. They did some like university experiment, and they can pretty much live forever, and they can heal. They have like heightened senses, and these two individuals, they want to convert the group of teenagers to to the type of beings that they are, these genetically modified beings, and they can transform people into these superhumans through sexual intercourse. And then so they're trying to have sex with all these people and turn them into genetically modified humans, and then people are like, they're also killing some of these people. So that is the basic plot summary. I hope it was not too long-winded, and I hope it made sense. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyways, getting into the actual main review here, I'm just gonna list some quick things that I liked. I thought the concept was very unique, even though it like borrows things from this old movie from the 1950s. On Wikipedia it says it's not necessarily a remake, but there is a movie with the same title and the same concept from the 1950s. But regardless, I think it's a unique concept, the whole dystopian future where people have reverted back to living in tribes, and then you have these genetically modified teenagers that are like 120 years old, and they're trying to create this like master superhuman race through sexual intercourse. That's a pretty unique concept. That's a little crazy. So I thought the concept was unique, and it was unique for a Larry Clark movie, because he doesn't really dabble with sci-fi or horror. This had a lot of sci-fi horror elements, which you don't see in any other Larry Clark films, I'm pretty sure. But at the same time, it still felt like a Larry Clark movie. It focused on teenagers. You had some fun dialogue where like the teenagers really felt like real teenagers. There was some shocking stuff with all the sex and the drugs. So this was like fresh in terms of Larry Clark doesn't have another like sci-fi or horror film in his filmography, but at the same time it's still it's still in line with his style of like teens doing shocking stuff. So that was cool. And then there were some decent creature effects as well. There were some decent makeup effects. There's like a transformation in the third act of the movie where the main antagonist transforms into this grotesque monster. That was great. And there were some decent kills too. Some of the kills were really bad, but I'll get into that in a second with some stuff that I disliked. And the first thing I wrote down is in line with what I just said in terms of bad kills. There is some bad CGI in this movie. Some very bad CGI. I'm not the biggest hater of CGI. I don't love it, but 2002, like that was quite a while ago, and the CGI wasn't what it is today. So you got to look at it for the time it came out. But regardless. Like the CGI in this, there's movies that came out before this that had better CGI, like Terminator 2, that had really good CGI. But I mean, this had a lower budget, so there's that. But yeah, anyways, the CGI in this was pretty darn bad, and there was quite a bit of it. I thought the acting in this was off. That like a lot of like the delivery of lines was just off. Like I feel like some of these actors were in Larry Clark's movie Ken Park, so maybe they were like non-actors before, but yeah, some of the acting was it just felt off to me. And I don't know, the way people, like some of the dialogue was good, but the way people delivered lines, it was weird. It was just off. And then, yeah, the movie was just slow at times. Like it just, I don't know, like it wasn't a super long runtime. It was like 90 minutes, but the whole middle part of the movie when they're just hanging out at this house, it kind of dragged a little bit for me. So yeah, it was a little bit slow in my opinion. So that's those are all my dislikes. Now I'm getting into now I'm gonna get into some random stuff. So the main antagonist, Neil, he's always arguing with his girlfriend, and this is just something I want to point out that I noticed. So his girlfriend, like him and his girlfriend, they're always arguing, and his girlfriend will like hit him and punch him, and yeah, she's always just like slapping him and stuff like that. But whenever they're fighting and his girlfriend Judith is like slapping him around, the sound effects they use are like the wackiest sound effects. It sounds like it's from like a slapstick comedy, like it's supposed to be goofy or over the top, because she'll just slap him or like barely punch him, and it's like the most over the top fake sounding sound effects. So I thought that was kind of funny, but it was like out of place. I'm like, because it seemed like it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't, because like the tone of this movie is not supposed to be, funny. Like, I mean, it is supposed to be kind of cheesy. This is like an homage to B movies, but yeah, the sound effects when Judith was hitting Neil were like really over the top and out of place. Another point that I want to get into, this is something that I liked, and I mentioned this earlier, but I like how the one main character, David, is like teaching everyone how to read with Penthouse magazine. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and that was a nice little touch. And the one kid, he's like trying to read, and it's like he sounds like a third grader who's like called on to read in class. He's just like stumbling every other word, and he can like barely read it, and he's saying stuff like bunghole, and what else does he say? He like dildo, and he's like, what is a bunghole? What is a dildo? So I thought that was funny that they were learning how to read with adult like nudie magazines basically. That was awesome. I don't know if like I saw this correctly, but once they got to the house, and they're like eating food, I thought they were eating SpaghettiOs. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly what they're eating, but it looked like SpaghettiOs. Like I just, if they were, I think that was really funny, because like that's what they chose to preserve from the old world. Like these are SpaghettiOs. They're a delicacy. I mean, SpaghettiOs are pretty good, but I just think that was like a funny choice. Like out of any of the food you could preserve, well, actually that would make sense because it's canned. It lasts a long time, so that actually makes a lot of sense. Like they would need like non-perishable food. What else is gonna last 120 years besides like SpaghettiOs and Twinkies and maybe snowballs or cupcakes? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, if they were eating SpaghettiOs, that's awesome, and I dig it. SpaghettiOs rule. And then, okay, so once they get to this city, they're dabbling with, sex, drinking, drugs, eating good food, watching TV for the first time. I just thought it was crazy that they're drinking for the first time, and they're pretty much like handling their alcohol super well. Like nobody's vomiting, nobody's getting like too effed up and pouring their heart out or slurring their words and falling down. Like for it being their first time drinking, these kids are not lightweights at all, and I just thought that was kind of funny. And yeah, you know, it's just, it's not like they were drinking like a couple beers or a couple hard seltzers. They were just like swigging. They were like chugging full on bottles of like whiskey and stuff like that. So, you know, you would think if that's your first time drinking and you're just drinking straight up liquor, you think you would be more effed up. But these kids, they're pros. They can handle their business. So, you know, I'm not hating, but I mean, it was really unrealistic. I'm watching this dystopian future horror sci-fi movie, and I need you know, I need more realism. You know, it's got me messed up. It's messing me up over here. I'm just kidding. But anyways, I just thought it was crazy that they could just like handle their alcohol so well, like their first time drinking. So I had to bring that up. And then I got one last point that I want to bring up here. So early on in the movie, when they're still in the tribe, they're going out hunting with this older gentleman, and the older gentleman is played by Larry Clark, and one of the kids kills him purposely but just tries to pass it off as an accident. And then when they get back from the hunt, they're like, yeah, we don't have anything for the tribe, we don't have any food, we don't have any meat. But then like a scene or two later, they are eating meat. So I don't know if anyone else, you know, who's seen this movie knows, like, were they eating Larry Clark's character? Like, that's the only possibility I can think of, because they didn't you know, get any. They weren't successful with their hunt. They didn't kill any animals. They didn't get any berries or anything like that. They didn't, you know, pick any fruit. So, I mean, did they just all eat Larry Clark's character? And if they did, that's crazy, because okay, maybe, you know, the rest of the people didn't know, but they would have known. And the characters who knew that he died, they were eating the meat too. So like, did they just willingly commit cannibalism? Did they just willingly just eat this guy? Like, maybe they were desperate. I don't know, but I don't know. That messed me up. I thought that was crazy. I'm still thinking about that. I don't know. You know, I feel like they were eating Larry Clark's character, and they knew about it and they didn't care. So maybe I'm wrong. If anyone has seen this movie, enlighten me. I don't know. But anyways, that was the last point that I wanted to get into. So now I'm going to get into my recommendation. So, you know what? Yeah. Okay, compared to the other films in Larry Clark's filmography, this movie's decent, but it's not great. Like, would I watch this again? Probably not. I would say I would recommend this if you're already a fan of Larry Clark's stuff and you're a completist and you want to watch all this stuff. But I wouldn't spend a lot of money on this. It's not a great movie by any means, but there's some fun stuff going on. But yeah, I wouldn't spend money on it. It's free on Tubi right now, so if you are a big Larry Clark fan and you've never seen this, I would check it out one time on Tubi. But other than that, like, don't go out and buy it, and don't go in expecting this to be a great movie or on par with, like, you know, Kids or Bully or even Ken Park. So yeah, I guess I would kind of recommend it, you know, but it's like circumstantial. You know, you gotta check all the boxes for, like, if this movie is for you. But anyways, if this movie is worth watching. But anyways, that's been my review of Teenage Caveman, and I've said everything that I wanted to say, so I'm gonna head out here. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.